In this session, we're going to be creating formula field to handle this scenario that says that we need to create a formula field on contact object that displays account status, whether it is active or not. So we know that on the account, we have this field. Let me open any account record, go to details section, and we have this field, the active field. And account can be active or not active, or sometimes this field can be blank. So what we want to do is we want to display this same value on a contact record so that users don't necessarily have to navigate to the contact to see if the related account is active or not. For example, if this is not active, then they want to see that result on this page without having the need to navigate to this record. So we're going to do that with formula fields. And also what we will do is we will try that with if function as well as with case function and see the difference between them. So let's go ahead and start working on that. So I'm going to go to setup and edit object. Click on edit object so that we can be navigated to object manager and then from there to the contact object. So we're on the contact object now. And from the fields and relationship, we'll click create that new field. Let's select the data tab. It is going to be formula. Click next. And I will name it as account status. Okay. And on this account status field, I have to display a text, right? I have to display whether it is active or not active. So that's going to be a text. So that's why I will select this data type. And it will click next. Now here is where we have to build the function. All right. Here's where we're going to build the function. So let's start with if function. So our option one is going to be option one. Let me drop a comment here. Option one, use if function. All right. So I will go ahead and bring that if function from here. This is what the if function looks like. Let's also keep it as our comment here so that we can keep it so that we can refer to it while we're building the if function. And this is the one we're going to be building upon. And this part is basically the comments. Those are comments and they will be ignored by Salesforce. So in our logical test part, what we have to do is we have to check the value in that account active field, right? So in order to do that, what we will do is if I highlight this and click on this insert field, from this contact, I will navigate to account. This arrow sign over here means that if I go to this section, I will be able to select the fields from the account. And down here, I see this active field, which is the pick list field. So I'll click insert. So that just copy paste this field value over here. And then how we build the if function. So this part says, so this is where we'll put our logical test, okay? That's where we put the logical test. And here we will return the value. Whenever this logical test is true, we will return this value. If this logical test is false, we will return this value, and that return value will be displayed in that field, in this new formula field. So now this active field on account can have 2 or 3 different values, right? So let me go to that field. So one of the option is no, the other option is yes, and the third option is none. Sometimes this field can be blank too. In our formula field, let's start from here. Let's say I'm going to attempt this. I'm going to say if this account active field is yes, is equal to yes, right? Let me type that value here. If that field says yes, then display yes value on this contact field, on this formula field that we're building on the contact. If it's not, then display no. Okay, let's start from here and see how it works. So if I try to check the syntax here, it is going to give me an error that says the field active underscore underscore C is a pick list field, and pick list fields are only supported in certain functions. Okay, because this field is a pick list field, I have to use specific function in order to deal with it. And that function is going to be ISPICKVAL. So let me go to our functions and select ISPICKVAL from there. Here it is, ISPICKVAL. And what it does, ISPICKVAL checks whether the value of a pick list field is equal to a string literal or not. So basically, if you are checking a value of a pick list field, you have to use this function. If this was not a pick list field, this function would be an accurate one. But because this is a pick list field, then in order to create this formula, we have to use additional function that is ISPICKVAL function. So let me bring this ISPICKVAL function here. So here it is. Let me copy and paste that here in our comment section so that we can have it in front of us to refer as we need. So let me also bring another ISPICKVAL here. Let's start working on it. So in this ISPICKVAL function, what I have to do is here, I have to enter that pick list field name, which is going to be this account active. All right, that's going to be the field. So let me copy that and paste it here. Okay. Now I'm going to check the value. I'm going to say if this account active field value is yes. This expression will check if the account active field value is yes. All right. Then what I will need to do is I'll need to copy this and place it over here. So this part will be replaced with that ISPICKVAL function. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste it. All right. So this part again checks if the active pick list value is yes on the account record. If it is yes, then on the contact, we will display yes. If no, we will display no on the contact record. So I'm going to keep it as it is and then check the syntax. And now we don't have any error message. So our formula is correct. So we'll keep it as it is. We don't worry about this section because we are dealing with text fields, and click next. I'm keeping this default setting as it is and then click save. Let's navigate to our contact record. Let's do a refresh. So this account that I'm looking at is, for example, it is not active, right? And then if I go to the related contact, I can go to any contact record and check that field. Let's see what we see. Account status. So account status says no, right? On the contact account status field shows no, and that's accurate because the related account is not active, right? So if I set this to active, then we should see yes value on the contact record as well. And now it says yes. So this is how we can use ISPICKVAL function in a formula.